Hello everyone, I'm glad you're able to log in and watch this video on dividing fractions. Please make sure that you watch the entire video, and at the end there's going to be a special password or phrase that I would like you to write down on a piece of paper and be ready to share that with me tomorrow in class. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Dividing fractions. One of the first things you have to know is how to make a reciprocal of a number or of a fraction. We're going to start off first by what is the reciprocal of a whole number. And a reciprocal of a whole number is how you get that is you divide 1 by that number. So if we look over here, and we have the number 8, the reciprocal of 8 is 1/8. I'm dividing 1 divided by 8. Okay, again, so to get a reciprocal of a number is you divide 1 by whatever number that may be. So let's look at some other examples. So I have the number 5. And if I want to know what the reciprocal of 5 is, I will have 1/5 because I'm dividing 1 by 5. If I have the number 8, I'm going to divide 1 by 8, which would give me 1/8. And if I had a really large number like 1,000, again, it's the same idea. I divide 1 by 1,000 to get my reciprocal. Now it's your turn. What would the reciprocal of 6 be? That's right. It is 1/6 because I'm dividing 1 by 6. What is the reciprocal of 235? Correct. It should be 1 over 235, or 1 divided by 235. So now if we want to get the reciprocal of a fraction, it's the same thing except you're just turning it upside down. In other words, swap over the numerator and the denominator. So you have the fraction 3/8, and we're going to flip it or swap it, and you're going to have 8/3. If we have 5/6, we're going to switch or swap it, and it's going to be 6/5. If we have 1/3, we know we're going to have 3/1, which is going to give us 3. And if we have 19/7, if we swap it and flip it, it's going to be 7/19. So now I want you to try what 7/8 would be. And as I realize, I have already showed you that it is 8/7 is the reciprocal. All right, so let's go on. So now that you know what a reciprocal means, you are now ready to divide fractions. There are 4 steps to dividing fractions. The first is to keep the fraction the same, first fraction the same. The second is to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And the third is to flip the second fraction, which is to make the reciprocal. Then you have to multiply to find the solution. So let's look at an example. The first thing we do is if we're having 3/4 divided by 2/3, you're going to keep the first fraction the same, which is 3/4. The second step is to change the division sign to multiplication. So we took division and we made it multiplication. And the third is to flip the second fraction or to make it the reciprocal. So 2/3 becomes 3/2. And then we're just, because we multiply, and when we multiply fractions, remember we can just multiply straight across. So 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 2 is 8. And so 9/8 is our final answer. But of course, we can always reduce that to 1 and 1/8 if we did not need to leave it as an improper fraction. Okay? So I'll give you a second to look at what we did. We kept the first one, We changed the sign, we gave the reciprocal, or we flipped, and then we multiplied straight across. Let's try another one. So this time we have 4/7 divided by 5, a whole number. So we keep 4/7 the same. That's our first fraction. Keep it the same. We're going to multiply it by its reciprocal. So we change the division sign to multiplication. Now we need to make 5 the reciprocal, because really it's 5/1. So we flip it, so it's 1/5 now, 1/5. And then now we can just go ahead and multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, it's very important for you to know those 4 steps to help you. Let's go to another one. This time I want you to try it on your own. I'll go ahead and say so I want you to write 4/5 divided by 6 on your paper. So first step is keep the first fraction the same. Hopefully you've written it down. Next, I want you to change the division sign to multiplication. And third, you're going to flip the second fraction, or you're going to make it its reciprocal. And then I want you to multiply to find the solution. So you can pause the video, go ahead and work it out, and when you're finished, go ahead and push play, and we'll see if you get the right answer. So you should have gone ahead and paused the video, and now I'm going to show you the answer. So 4/5 times 1/6, which is the reciprocal of 6, is equal to 4/30, and we went ahead and reduced it to 2/15. I'm sure you got that. I'm excited to hear that you got it tomorrow. Let's go look at this next one. This time it's a word problem. You follow the same steps even if it's a word problem. It says you have 2/4 of a pizza and you want to share it equally between 2 people. How much of the pizza does each person get? That's always the question. So keep the first fraction the same. Change the division sign to multiplication. You're going to flip the second fraction to the reciprocal, and then you're going to multiply to find the solution. So go ahead and pause and see if you get the answer. Good luck. Remember your steps. Okay, so you have already worked out the problem, and I'm going to show you the solution. And it should be 2/4 divided by 2 is equal to 1/4 of the pizza each person would get. So 2/4 was the same. We changed the division sign to multiplication. This is really 2/1, so we flip it as 1/2, which is equal to 2 times 1 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and obviously we can reduce because they're both even numbers, and we get 1/4. Okay, now for the moment you've been waiting for. So if you would like an extra treat in class tomorrow, please write down your name with the work that you provided, and you need to write the following 3 words: keep, change, flip. But please don't tell anybody else what the words are. This is to see if you have watched the video. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Thanks.